Spoiler, Tony Stark died in Avengers Endgame. But don't worry, he will return to the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. The theory is simple. We began the MCU not with Iron Man 1 or with The Incredible Hulk. No, Iron Man 2 is technically one of the first movies released for the true Marvel Cinematic Universe. The reason of this is quite simple. We see some very clear differences, mainly with Rhodey. Yes, we see Don Cheadle playing Rhodey in Iron Man 2, whereas we had Terrence Howard playing Rhodey in Iron Man 1. Now, of course, there are all sorts of external and factual reasons why that took place. But within the MCU, we can see a very easy way for them to put Tony Stark back in. But not the one from the Prime MCU, but one from the pre-MCU. We had Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner, and at the end of that movie, in The Incredible Hulk from 2008, we had a cameo with Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, Tony Stark himself, meeting General Ross at the end of the movie in a bar. So, why the actor changes? Well, if we're not going to look at the external, we're going to look within the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. We can say that the first Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk are movies of a separate universe, which means they could come back and create sequels. They could create spin-off movies that feature that version of Tony Stark and that version of Hulk, that version of Bruce Banner. And they can come back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe through a dimension hop. So I think that we could easily see that take place. We could see a potential return of Terrence Howard as War Machine Rhodey. Well, he didn't get to play War Machine, but we could see him as that role, which I think would be really cool because I saw some different character aspects from him in Iron Man as opposed to the way Don Cheadle took the character in all the subsequent movies. He's a much more authoritative, much more serious figure, whereas Don Cheadle's a little bit more laid back. Not that it's bad. I mean, I think they're both excellent choices for the role that they played. It's just a matter of they took the characters in slightly different directions. But I think that we can really see a potential for future performances of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark Iron Man in a separate universe, a separate cinematic universe that also features some of the other characters from other franchises that don't link up with the MCU. It'd be possible that they might even have similar events take place, that they could kind of do a flashback or even a complete redo of these storylines that they've already done, but it's hard to tell what they might do. But it would be kind of cool to see just a short snippet of that end scene from Endgame with the portals and everything. But you've got Norton as Banner, you've got Robert Downey Jr. there as Iron Man still, you got Terrence Howard as War Machine, and then you could even throw in some things like, well, Hugh Jackman's there as Wolverine, and oh, look, there's Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and oh, there's all the early 2000s Fantastic Four cast, and hey, wait a minute, that guy looks like Cap. Anyway, that would be an interesting way to play this. But I think that as they continue to speculate and they continue to talk up how Stark is still alive, I don't think that they will focus completely on the hologram AI of Tony Stark for Pepper and all that, because although it wouldn't surprise me one bit that they do that, I think it would be a little bit more advantageous financially to pursue this cinematic multiverse to where you could have Tony just randomly show back up and they're like, wait a minute, Tony's dead. How's this guy here? And it turns out it's a Tony from a completely different dimension. So thank you very much. This is the Nerdvenger. I will not tell you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, or whatever else YouTube tells you to do. But if you do that, well, let's just say that helps me make more videos.